Kimspiracy.
On today's Kimspiracy, we are seeing the great vape epidemic bamboozle underway, and our government are gangsters. Big shakedown happening. First, I'm not advocating or encouraging the use of vaping. It is an effective tool if one wants to quit smoking. They're referred to as e-cigs. Some are as big as a car battery. They're just a different range of ways that one may vape. Chances are pretty good that you have heard of the deaths related to vaping. 11 to date. A lot of frenzy, a lot of hysteria, a lot of pearl clutching in the media about the dangers and the epidemic of vaping. And so I kind of want you to be aware of the full story around vaping. Not the act of vaping itself, but the way in which the government shakes us down, okay? So here are some facts about vaping. Again, vaping is an atomizer that heats liquid into a vapor, which is then inhaled by the user. Sometimes some people want to inhale Skittles, kernel, custard, strawberry, whatever. It is not smoking. There's no smoke involved. It is taking liquid and heating it up into vapor. That's the process. You hear e-cigs. A lot of times these are flavored with nicotine. And so while it is not smoking, it does contain nicotine. But what it does not contain is tobacco, tar, carpet glue, which is what they use to make your cigarette extinguish itself thanks to the laws passed. So that's the difference. Nicotine, some kind of glycerin, thickening agent, nicotine being in and of itself equivalent to caffeine. I'm not defending it. I'm just giving you the facts. It does cause hardening of the arteries, but so does, caffeine causes diabetes. So you're not going to get a moral point there. Neither one of them are good for you. But for sake of the argument, vaping is a better alternative than smoking. That's not my opinion. That is the opinion of the Royal College of Physicians. These are the cats that were the ones who first directly linked lung cancer to smoking. These are the guys, the brilliant medical professionals who are responsible for us having the Surgeon General's warning stamped on every box of cigarettes sold in the United States that clearly lays out your risk of smoking a cigarette. We can thank them for that. Education is key. So the same group of medical professionals released a report in 2016 that actually stated vaping was 98% safer than smoking. They even went so far as to suggest that vaping should be encouraged to adults who wanted to quit smoking. So the vaping world was pretty quiet, and then some states began adopting ways to tax the juice because it contained nicotine. So I think there's a small tax that was actually levied in Alabama around 2016. And there were some that actually went into effect August 1st of this year. And other than that, there was no revenue generated from vaping outside of sales tax. Okay? And then the bottom falls out. And folks are passing out and dying in the street, and their lungs are filling up with concrete. These poor people are going to die. They could die any moment now, and they won't get to enjoy the next 15 years that we have left on this earth, according to Alexandria Occasional Cortex. Massachusetts has implemented state of emergency. They have also put into effect an immediate ban on all vaping products for the next 4 months, so that they can figure out how to tax you, so they can figure out what's going on, right? So states are scrambling. What are we going to do? Save the children and the orangutans, and so many people are vaping that their carbon footprint is enlarging, and rainforests are burning down. How are we going to fix this epidemic, this vaping epidemic? Naturally, we're going to tax it. This is why the big vape scare is a hoax. And it should be pretty obvious. But let's just pretend it's not. 500,000 people, on average, die every year because of cigarette smoking. Now, keep in mind, we have 11 deaths related to vaping since August of this year. But 500,000 are expected to die at the end of this year due to cigarette smoke. What they're not telling you about the vaping deaths is that each shares certain commonalities. One being that they used black market cartridges. They did not purchase them from a vape shop. They purchased them from some dude who made it. And some cartridges contain THC, which is weed. Some didn't, but they all contained a vitamin E oil thickening agent. They don't tell you that. They're just preaching doom and gloom, and Whitney Houston needs to come back and re-release I Believe the Children Are Our Future. It is that serious. And it is serious. It is serious for the government, because let me tell you why. All these states that are scrambling to get a handle on this crisis of monumental proportions, not one have banned cigarettes. Vermont, I believe, attempted to several years ago, and the federal government said, absolutely not. You will sell those cancer sticks, and you're going to do it happy. You're going to be happy about it. You're going to be glad. And you're going to put up promotional posters advertising the fact that you can get 2 and a bonus pack with miles on them. Between local, federal, state government, $35 billion was collected each year annually just in cigarette tax. In 2010, Americans who smoked was at its lowest level in 50 years. Now, again, 2003, vaping comes on the scene. 2010, the first waves of economic impact began to show themselves in the government's coffers, because fewer Americans than ever are smoking. There are additionally 88,000 deaths every year in America related to alcohol. But they're not calling for the ban of alcohol, as long as it's got that pretty little stamp on the bottom of it. And preferably you purchase it at the state store. And just make sure you don't make it. You can drink it, and you can buy it, and you can die from it. But you better not make it, or you'll go to jail, because we don't want you to die. It's got to be regulated. Needs government oversight. We know what we're doing. So, this is the way that you are manipulated every single day. I was trying to get some statistics, just some random statistics on how many deaths are related to certain things. Some things came up, no problem. Others, I actually got out an encyclopedia and tried to find the answer. Because the question that I asked was, how many deaths have been related to the measles vaccine versus how many deaths have occurred as a result of the measles virus itself since it was officially eradicated in the United States in the year 2000. And I discovered through much digging and angst that 108 people have died from the measles vaccine since 2000, while only 2 have died from the measles virus itself. So do not be deceived. If there was a choice between vaping or not vaping, don't vape. If there's a choice between smoking a cigarette or vaping, vape. But preferably don't do either. But don't buy into the hype. Don't buy into the manipulative tools that they use to lie to you and deceive you through lies of outright lies and lies of omission. Because let me just run down a couple of statistics that I've worked very hard to put things into perspective for you. 250,000 people in America will die from medical mistakes, making it the 3rd leading cause of death. 700,000 will die from legal prescription drugs, not opioid overdose, from side effects related to legally obtained prescription drugs. 700,000 people. 13,000 homeless people will die this year. There were 500 murders committed by illegal immigrant lawbreakers last year. The Clintons kill more people than vaping has since 2003. An estimated 5,200 died from choking last year. 1,040 were in a plane crash. 51 died from lightning strikes. 50 died from being attacked by a dog. And in 2007, the most current report we have to date, 114 people were killed while exercising with free weights. So, our government, the government elected leaders are mobsters, they're gangsters, they're shakedown artists, they're the biggest Ponzi scheme going. Several states are attempting to enact taxes, special sin taxes, because, if you're going to die, at least let us make some money off of you before you do. And because we are so concerned about this crisis that is impacting our youth, we're going to put taxes on it. Dang you. One Alabama lawmaker wants to add a 25 cent per milliliter tax. It is ironic to note that Massachusetts, with their state of emergency declared and their 4-month ban on the sale of all vaping products, last year made about $885 million in cigarette tax. Massachusetts is aggressively addressing this vaping epidemic crisis of monumental proportions by implementing an effective immediately 4-month ban on the sale of all vaping related products. They are not, however, concerned with the 9,300 citizens from their state who died last year from smoking cigarettes. And they are not concerned about cigarette smoking being Massachusetts' leading cause of preventable death. But they got your taxes. They're coming for them. They'll get them. And you're going to see it go all across the nation. And then they're going to come for your burgers. They're already talking about the meat tax because you know what? You eat meat, somehow that warms up the earth's core, and they got to tax it. They got to tax it. Whatever the question is, the answer is money.